All right. I've switched cameras. Not as good quality, but hopefully it focuses properly. This is for user The Sheep Show. That's fucking dope. I found out my best friend offered to show my nudes to someone, and I feel really weird now. Okay. This is for the OP. If you want the full context of the post, the link is in the description. One of my closest friends, Jim, 20 male, had a sexting relationship for like 4 months from March 2018 to June 2018. We were both single at the time, and it was my first time doing anything remotely sexual with a guy. Okay, so first of all, you have nothing to be ashamed of, and you do have a right to feel betrayed, angry, and you're not overreacting. Let's just get that clear right now, okay? I've had a lot of women send me nudes. Like a lot of women send me nudes, okay? And I've never, ever, ever shown any of them to anyone. And the reason is because their body is not meant for strangers' eyes, okay? Porn's different because porn, you know, young women go in with the knowledge that it's going to be shown, except for the whole debacle where apparently there was a porn site called Girls Do Porn where the guys that were filming it didn't tell the girls that it was going to be on the internet. This is just as bad as that. Look, Jim's fucked up. He fucked up. Not only did he fucked up, but he might be fucked up. I think his actions show me that he doesn't respect you as a woman. And you are a woman. Like, don't get it twisted. You're a person. You know, you have just as equal value as I do, as my girlfriend does, as my mother does, as my sister does. And I'll tell you what, if they sent nudes, if any of them sent nudes to a guy and he showed them off, they'd be fucking slaps galore. Don't worry about that. My girlfriend's Mexican. She'll throw dinner plates at your head if you even threaten to do that. Don't get that shit twisted. My mum's a fucking soldier. Not really, but she's tough as nails. Tough as nails. Now, back in the 80s when she met my father, they didn't have texting and sexting. But even if they did, my old man isn't the kind of guy that's going to fucking show that shit off. And I don't think you should feel any guilt in this. Like, it's just the generation that we live in. You got to remember, you're 20. So you were born ostensibly in the 21st century. Okay, that's fucking crazy. I had a mobile phone before you were born. Okay, so you have grown up in an era where young men and women communicate differently to how they used to. You have to remember that Jim's dad could not prepare him for the world that he was going to go into, which means Jim doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. But that doesn't give any excuse. There is no excuse. And he knows that. He knows that. And the reason he showed Michael was because he's like, he wanted to get Michael into the little, you know, fucking, oh, bro, check this out. You know, he kind of wanted to get him into the crime with him, you know. And so let's go through this a bit. Overall, it was an okay experience while it was happening. I understand what you mean by that. Like, sexting is kind of cool, but it's you know, it's not really the end that you want. You want to get in there and fucking have some fun. He started seeing a girl while we were still doing it. Okay, that's an alarm bell. That tells me that he doesn't. It tells me that he hasn't thought about his principles, and so he has to think about them on the fly. Okay, and what you want is a man in your life, friend or partner, that has already had the thoughts about his actions before he gets into them. I'll give you an example. I work as a bouncer at nightclubs sometimes. And if a girl comes up to me and starts flirting with me, I'm going to tell her to fuck off. You know why? Because I've already thought about what I'm going to do. So I don't have to make a decision and then go, oh, no, but babe, to my girlfriend. No, but she was just like, I wasn't flirting, and give all these excuses. I've already made the decision. You can fuck off because you're not my girlfriend. And I've got a better woman than you are because you're hitting on a bouncer at a nightclub. So Not that that's a bad thing. I've just got, I've already got mine. So, now it's a good thing that once he realized when he was going to be serious with her, you stopped. That's a good thing. He told me I shouldn't mention it to anyone. Well, of course he's going to, but it doesn't look like you're going to mention it to anyone anyway. Because if his girlfriend found out about it, she would break up with him. Well, probably not the right girl to be in a relationship with then, yeah? That's not for you, that's for him. His girlfriend ended up disliking me because he told her I had liked him at some point without mentioning that it was mutual. Okay, so it seems to me to be the case that he wants to do life his way. He wants to control the narrative. Now, that's not unusual, but it is it is a thing where you want people in your life that are willing to be honest and that are willing to tell the truth. Because if someone doesn't tell you the truth, you don't have the requisite knowledge to make the correct decision. Now, neither does she. So I wouldn't be pissed at the girlfriend because, there's nothing that, your presence in his life makes her feel insecure. Now, I can nearly guarantee that he's still got the photos on his phone, unless she, in her jealous rage, has gone through his phone and deleted them, or he has because he thinks that she's going to get onto that phone and fucking find them. If not, he's probably still got them on his phone. And the reason I know that is because I love my current girlfriend a lot, but it took me about 3 months. I think it was 3 months into the relationship before I deleted all the photos of other girls on my phone because I forgot that I had them. And then I opened my photos one day and I'm like, fuck me. Well, now what I didn't want is I don't want photos on my phone of women that are accessible to me because that will make her feel insecure. B, I don't want her finding that, not because it's any dishonesty from me, but she's going to think there's dishonesty from me. And 3, I don't need those photos in my phone because I'm never going to see those girls again. And just, having whimsical thoughts about what could have been has no use to anyone. Jim told him I had a nice ass and I asked Michael if he wanted to see it. Michael said no. Michael's a good dude, okay? Michael's a good dude. I would say the same thing Michael said. No, motherfucker, I don't want to see the photos of a girl you're trying to show me. Fuck you. That's disgusting. Not you, obviously, but the fact that he was going to show you. His actions are disgusting. And that's coming from a fucking man. And I say that hopefully in humility. But the only reason I can say that is because I was raised around men that took responsibility, men that showed maturity, men that were honest, men that made mistakes and fucking owned up to them. Okay. A man is not defined as perfect. A man is defined as a person that will own up to his mistakes and fucking be mature and responsible. Okay. And sadly, I do believe it happened. I believe it too, because it's very common. I know this was 2 years ago, but I just found out and really weird now, and I feel sort of gross. Also, I've been betrayed. I know why you feel gross, but you shouldn't. You're not a slut, and no one should be able to shame you. And if someone does shame you, put these 2 motherfucking fingers up in their face. That's what you do. Say, listen, bitch, I was 18, was it? 18 when it happened. I'm a fucking adult. I do what I want, And so you can fuck off with your judgment. I feel so uncomfortable and angry, but also I feel like I shouldn't be mad about it because it was 2 years ago. No, you have a right to feel mad. It's like I never told his girlfriend about any of our history. Good, and don't. There's no point. The only point in telling her anything is to get your own, and get yours back. It's a subset of vengeance, and there's no point to it. You'll only dirty yourself, and you'll ruin any relationships, and there's no real point there that I can see, at least. I never told his girlfriend about her history, even though not telling her made my life difficult and made her dislike me because she thought I had an unrequited thing for her boyfriend. I kept all of his secrets, but he was willing to show my pictures to people. Okay, seems like you're the good person here. That's not uncommon. Yeah. And if he's willing to show it to Michael, he's willing to show it to someone else that is not willing to tell you. And you may want to check in your state or territory or municipality, wherever, if they have revenge porn laws. I don't know if that's a thing or if it applies, but it's something to think about. I also feel so betrayed because I've considered him like family for the last 18 months and I really love and care for him like a brother. And this just feels like such betrayal. Of course it does. Of course it does. I feel like he exposed me in a way. He did. Is that weird? No, it's not. Am I supposed to confront him about it? It's up to you. If you feel that... Look, I feel you've been wronged. If you feel that you've been wronged, sometimes people get wronged and they don't need closure from the person that wronged them. Some people do need closure from the person that wronged them. It's a question of... It's an individual question. If you want to have a chat to him, have a chat to him and fucking call him out on it. Like really go hard in the paint because this man has done wrong and he needs to own up to it. He needs to be responsible for it because if he doesn't, he's going to, and look, the reason he's probably not is because he's got mates that are watching porn all the time, all the fucking time, which is toxic for men. But anyway, he's 20. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's 20. He's a fucking beanbag. I was a banana at 20. I was a basket of fruit that was a little bit moldy at 20. And I had to sort my shit out and put, so that I could be the man that I need to be for the relationship that I'm in now. I wasn't that man at 20. I was an idiot. Having said that, I wouldn't have showed any girls nudes. So he's even more of a doofus. Am I supposed to confront him about it? It's really up to you. If you feel justified in confronting him, I think you're justified. But it depends on whether or not, it depends on what you want from the conversation. If you want closure, you might not get it. If you want him to score him like a bitch, he's probably going to, but he's probably going to act aggressively and defensively and trying to justify his actions, or just flat out denial. And if he does that, just be prepared for that. I feel so confused. Of course you feel confused. Of course, because this is the first time it's ever happened. And also because we were both single at the time and it was my first time doing anything remotely sexual with a guy. Now, I don't know if you mean remotely sexual or remotely as in like away from each other sexual with a guy. I was privileged enough to take a girl's virginity when she was 19 and I was 28. She asked me. And I treated her as best I could. And I never did anything like this, right? And I just think that what's happened is that if it is the case that this is your first kind of sexual experience with a guy, he's pissed in your soup. You know, the soup that is the sexual experience of an individual, he's pissed in it and he's made it. And I hope that you don't let him define your experience of men, or relationships. Look, I wish you the best. I think you should have courage. I think you are right. And I think that whether or not you get closure from this guy, closure from yourself is possible. You know, you can just write him off as a prick. You know, I don't know if there's any legal recourse in terms of getting him to delete those photos, but I don't think there's any point to it because he might have made copies. But probably not, but maybe. And how do you get someone to do that? Like, that's the question. So, look, I wish you all the best. I really do. And I think that I think you've learned a lot from this. Good luck.